So what you're going to have to do is be able to write the equation of the line in really two forms. And you may use your worksheets or your notes. So I guess you're going to be able to use your iPads, because that's where they are. Slope, intercept. Okay, Dean? Dean, this doesn't count for being here. Got to be awake. I'll send you to the nurse then if you want to sleep. Okay, does anybody remember what this one is? Yeah, it counts as an absence. Remember what this is? Y equals M, Keaton, X plus what? B. Hey guys, this is not that hard. We've been doing it. Then we're going to do inequality, so we'll do it, change things up a little bit, but then we'll come back to the graphing and we'll be solving systems of equation, hopefully finishing the year with probability, because that's what's going to get cut. Is there anybody else who needs a pencil? So you might want to write this down, and we can do the first problem for everything on that little worksheet. And there are some problems in there with a little bit of a twist. Okay, that's what they call slope-intercept form. I don't particularly care for this form. It's okay. Sometimes I have to deal with fractions with it. I'd rather have point slope. But what this form does for me is if I have an equation in this form, I can graph this line, and here is B. That's the y-intercept. And the ordered pair is 0, B. This is the x-intercept. What's that ordered pair? Do you guys know? We'll call that A. One of these values is 0. Which one is it, x or y? Dean. This one. The one on the x-axis. No, it's x, y. X is A, so y is 0. You need to think of a y-intercept as an ordered pair. An x-intercept is also an ordered pair. It's nice if I have my equation in this form. I can use my graphing calculators, and maybe if we have time, we can do some stuff with graphing calculators. But right now, I mean, it's an okay form. Okay, Corey? I don't use this form hardly at all. I use point slope form, and that's still probably on the board. Oh no, it's been erased. Probably had to be erased for the MCAs. And that's y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. And all I need for this, that's why I like this, is I need to find the slope, and I need to know one of the y values with its corresponding x values. That's all there is. Okay, Ryan, you need to pay attention so you know how to do this. So it's easy. Once you just plug the numbers in there, you're done. That's it. And usually if I want to get y equals mx plus b, it's easier to start with point slope. And does anybody remember the formula for slope? It's kind of on the board. Corey, do you remember it? Slope. I'm not going to talk very long. It's y1 minus y2. And why am I emphasizing this? We've been doing slope, I don't know, since first semester. I can, but this means that when I put my numbers in, yeah, x1 minus x2. So let's look at the worksheet. That's all there is in this little quiz. Oh, and word problems. There'll be a word problem. And there'll be an extra credit piece too. Okay, so let's look at problem number 3 on the yellow worksheet. We're going to do 3 and 6. Because they're the same problems. And I actually wrote the quiz in a similar manner. So if you do this, you understand this, the quiz will look very similar. And it shouldn't bother you. Not as many problems. Well, I don't like writing my ordered pairs sideways. I like to write them up and down. Okay, Keaton? And this is x, and this is y. And it says use point-slope form. And honestly, I'll use point-slope form because it's easiest anyway. So what do I have to know? I have to find what? There are three things you have to find. I have to find what? Adam, what do I have to find? The slope. That's the hardest part. That's where I can mess up. Then I have to find a point. Well, I've got 2 points there. It doesn't matter which one we do. And then you just substitute in, and I'll even write it again. It's y minus, I should say into, y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. And when I do this, I always do the easy things first. First off, you sometimes get points for these easy things first. So which order pair would you like to use, Dean? The negative 2, 4 or the negative 3, 6? Don't wake up. No. It doesn't matter to me which one you want to use. Which one do you want? Negative 2, 4. Okay, now what you have to do is realize which one's which. Okay, Corey, do you know which one's which? It's going to be y minus the y coordinate. Which is the y coordinate here? 6. Oh, we're using the red one, though, because it didn't click that one. So it's what? Negative 2 or 4? 50-50 chance. 4. Equals the slope. Slope's hard to find. And then it's x minus, and what's the x coordinate? Now, by the way, this subtraction right here is not the same as that sign there. So don't think that they're related. They're not. So here, Corey, you're right. Let's put parentheses in there so I don't lose them. What's the x coordinate? Brian? Negative 2. And I'll close my parentheses. Okay, now all we have to do is find the slope. Remember how to find slope? Oh, we just reviewed it. Right up where? Where did I put it? Oh, it's right up here. It's right there. You subtract the y coordinates. I highly recommend you put in parentheses. Okay, Dean? So we get the signs right. So I'm going to leave myself a little space here. M is equal to y1 minus y2. And there's a couple mistakes we can make. Sometimes people put them upside down. And sometimes people mix up the coordinates. Which is the y value you would like to start with? Oh. What are the y values? Keaton? What are the y values? Which are the y values here? You got 4 numbers. 2 of them are y's.
6.
Okay, so which one do you want to put in the first spot? It doesn't make any difference to me. 6. I prefer that because 6 take away what's the next number is going to be on the numerator. Adine? What's going to go here? What's the other y value? We already used 6. So cross it out if you want. 4. Now, 6 is partnered with negative 3, so it goes here. Negative 3. And by the way, if we work hard on this, the sooner we get done with it. What's the other x value? Negative 2. And that gets kind of ugly with those negative signs. Well, the numerator is easy. What's the slope? 6 minus 4 is what? That's pretty easy. What? That's 2. This one is where it's a little trickier. And remember when I did integers, I said let's make this adding the opposite. So it's really a negative 3 plus a positive 2. Negative 1. Oh, we're getting better on that. Good. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite the equation. Y minus 4 equals negative 2, because I can put that negative in the numerator. And then, can I go ahead and simplify 2 negatives here? What's that going to be? I have reasons for my madness here. What do 2 negatives make? Keaton? 2 wrongs make a right, right? So what's 2 negatives make? Positive. Now, I want to switch this to y equals mx plus b, Dean. So what I'm going to do, Corey, so you know what to do, is I'm going to distribute this. I want y equal to everything over there. I think it's easiest to do this first. So what's that going to be, Corey? Want to multiply these together? Negative 2x. We'll do it that way if you want, but it's not easier. And negative 2 times positive, especially if we're dealing with fractions. What's a negative 2 times a positive 2? No, times. Negative 4. And then what do I have to do to both sides to get y all by itself? I don't want the negative 4 there. So what do I have to do? Right, what do I have to do to get rid of negative 4? Add 4. Well, line it up with what it's similar to. It's so y equals negative 2x. Oh, what is negative 4 minus plus 4? 0. So the y-intercept is 0. I think it's easiest to work with point-slope form. Here I had to calculate the slope, which took a little more work, but even if I do y equals mx plus b, I have to calculate the slope. Okay, so Corey, let's do that. Let's do y equals mx plus b. We already found the slope, so we can go ahead and substitute that in. Now, especially if the slope is a fraction, I guarantee it's harder. And I've been avoiding fractions, and I think I avoided fractions on your quiz. No, there was one little fraction there. Okay, so y equals negative 2x plus b. Corey, which point do you want to substitute in for x and y? It doesn't make any difference. One of these two ordered pairs you have to put in for x and y. You don't like having to make choices. Pardon? You need both. Okay, so negative, that ordered pair, negative 2, 4. Just helps us see it. Okay, so 4 goes in for y equals negative 2 times x, which is negative 2 plus b. And so 4 equals, what's negative 2 times negative 2? No. It's a positive 4. So what's b equal to? We're not done. This is the problem. We're not done. And when I looked at assignments that were turned in, a lot of you forgot to do this. 2x, and you can do plus 0 or not write anything. It's fine either way. It turned out to be 0. Well, it turned out easy. But if I ended up with something like this, if the slope had been negative 2/7 and my ordered pair was negative 2, 4, then I would get y equals negative 2/7 x plus b. Y would be 4. X would be negative 2 plus b. Well, that's 4 is equal to 4/7 plus b. What do I have to do to get b? I don't know about you, but I don't like the idea. I subtract 4/7. Now, I don't know how many people in here know what 4 minus 4/7 is. I know what it is. It's 3 3/7. Because I think of pies. Yep. If I take 4 pies, I'm left with 3. I'm going to take the other pie. I can't draw this, but I'm going to cut it. Try to cut it into 7ths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to eat 4 of those. How many are left? 3. But you guys don't like fractions. So if I do point-slope form here, it's much easier. Let's take this, that it's y minus 4 equals negative 2/7 x minus a minus 2, and I'm done. I don't have to know any fractions. I'm done. On the AP exam, you just do that. Now, it depends where you go to school, whether or not they're going to make you do this. But there's no reason for slope-intercept. What this is going to do is I'm going to go through negative 2, 4, and I'm going to count 7 over to the right and down 2, and there's my graph. It's just as easy to graph that as it is to do a problem with the y-intercept. If the y-intercept is a fraction, graphing is really tough. So point slope works with any point in the plane, so I like it much better. And the only way you really get good at it is to practice. Well, on this worksheet, the first ones are point slope form. You do not have to simplify. The second row is going to y equals mx plus b. You can do it the hard way, what I call the hard way, or you can just take your answers from the first row and multiply it all out and get everything on one side except for y. And then on the last part it says use either form. And honestly, that's what it is for this whole worksheet. Use the either form, any form you would like, to do the rest of the worksheets. The quiz is very similar. I'm going to look for point-slope form, I'm going to look for slope-intercept form, and the rest is use any form you like. Some forms are easier than others. If you are given one last example, and then you guys have to get some worksheets into me, and I guess you just have to go with the grades you've got. I don't like that, but if I tell you that slope is 2 and the y-intercept is 7, I'm certainly not going to use point-slope form. I'm going to do y equals mx plus b. Why? Do I know what m is? 2. Do I know what b is? Yeah, so this is easy. So it's 2x plus 7. So yeah, I will use that form then if it's easy. But if it's not easy, I won't. That's up to you. But I will test in particular for the two different forms. Okay? So how you get there is up to you. But point-slope form is easier to get to. What's hard about this is you need to realize that that's 0, 7. So it's y minus 7 equals 2, x minus 0. That's the same as this. If I distribute the 2, not much to distribute there, and add 7, I get 2x plus 7. Here's where point-slope form takes more time to get it into slope-intercept form, but that's the rare case. Okay, so that's what we're doing tomorrow. We'll have a quiz, and then Monday we'll start with inequalities, which should be fairly easy. But we have to know what it means to solve an equation. Then we can do it. Then it's easy.